Don't go to Cuba, it's communist, don't go. It is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. My top 10. Let's get right into it. It is Thursday, February 23rd, or whatever spot. And I have class, but I'm going to Cuba soon. I have 5 days, touch wood. And so I'm a free man if they don't press charges, touch wood. And I go to Cuba the day after, so I am praying. It's kind of a celebratory. What a beautiful day to be alive. Look at the sunshine of California, but I will be in the turquoise water of the Caribbean later today. Let's go. Just arriving at the airport, we had to sit behind a bunch of LA individuals at Cuba. Any thoughts regarding that? I finally made it. Basically, be prepared for Cuba. Because I do not understand Spanish. The declaration forms are in Spanish. But I'm doing enough, so it's all good. I have free upgrade. During this takeoff, I wanted to take some time to reflect on the purpose of this video, going to Cuba as an American. Well, the thing is, you need to come prepared. When I got to the airport, I almost missed my flight due to the declaration you have to fill out. It took a really long time, a lot longer than any other country I've been to. So make sure you fill out that declaration online. You can find it. It's only in Spanish, so it's gonna take you a minute if you don't speak Spanish. Second of all, I got an upgrade to main cabin extra on American. I don't have any status at the moment. I was a BA Silver at 12, which is kind of wild, or 11 to think about. But at the moment I don't, so it was nice to receive that upgrade. And I was on a red eye. It was a little bit delayed, but it was a very pleasant flight. You can check the takeoff video right now. It's going on in the screen. But I was really excited to get there. That is a brutal red eye. West Coast to East Coast, especially Miami it's tough. As an American, your next question probably entails, do I need a visa to go to Cuba? And if you've done your research, you understand that there's a tourist card that you need. Well, at the gate, I was flying from Miami to Havana, and in LA they didn't sell them, but at the gate, somebody from the tourism industry in Cuba dishes them out about 10 minutes before boarding. You don't need to pay cash or anything. It's a simple credit card swipe or a tap or an insert, and you just get your Cuban tourist card. It's very, very simple. It's no stamp in the passport. And as you'll see later, once you arrive, it's very straightforward. Immigration is a breeze, and they just make sure you have your tourist card. It's one of the easiest countries to get into. I don't understand why this is so complicated. Anyways, I hope I'm making this easier for you. This is the takeoff video from Miami. If you want to know how much I paid for this flight, I got it from LA to Havana for about $212 one way, and I got a main cabin extra upgrade for free. So I think it was a very, very, very good deal. And on the way back, you'll see I flew business class for about $480 on 3 segments in lie flat. Unreal. But you have to wait till the end. After about an hour, we touched down in Havana. It's a very short flight from Miami, or from New York, it's about 2.5 hours as well. So it's super easy to get to. And after this video, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna wanna go. But this happened, so there was a group of people on the flight, which... Oh my God, we're in Cuba. We're in Cuba. That's me. Hello. It's me. Upon arrival, I met my taxi driver. I prepaid this through the Airbnb for $30 US, which I think is a decent deal considering somebody picks you up. It's not all that different when you get there at the airport. But it's once you get into the town, it was just a short 25-minute drive, super easy. We made it to Havana. It was probably the funnest flight I've had in a long time. I sat next to a music artist, and before the flight, there was a group of 28 women that came up to me. A shot of rum is $1. A shot of rum is $1. $1 a shot. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how to put this, but Cuban rum is the epitome of rum. I learned about it at a later date, which you'll see, but it is so good. So good. Highly recommend it, and so cheap. One of the main reasons I went, and so well. After indulging in one too many rums, I decided to check into my Airbnb, and I was a little bit tipsy, so I'm just vibing out in the bathroom. Super nice. So there's a reason that I actually wore all of that outfit, and I had a photo shoot. The Airbnb host, Mirna, she's incredible. I'll attach a link below. She booked me one of these old taxis. Oh my God, it was so cool. Yalla. Once I arrived, I had time for another rum at the hotel before the photographer picked me up, and we just cruised around. Everything was included for about $60, like 25 photos, all edited, and an old car with a driver. After that, I headed to pizza. It was only about 2 hours, and I had an hour to kill before my cigar making session, and this pizza was incredible. So good, and it was about $3. So for the next part, I try to stay off my phone as much as possible, but there was a video that the guy took of me. So nice. But before we get into that, I wanted to address a couple of things. So when you go to Cuba, it says you need a SIM card and all this. You do if you want Wi-Fi, but there is free Wi-Fi offered at most accommodations, including Airbnbs. Second of all, yes, you can change your US dollar out, and it does go quite far, but make sure it's in good condition. But other than that, I know you don't need an itinerary at the airport. They didn't ask me for mine, I still had one. But you don't need it, and you don't need to keep receipts. When I came back in, I was using mobile passport and all of that, and it wasn't an issue. He just said, where are you coming from? I said, Havana. That's pretty much it. Okay, let's get into the cigar making. I booked this through Get Your Guide, and it was the most invigorating experience I have ever experienced. Two experiences, I guess, in that sentence. But it really was truly incredible. It wasn't a cigar making, it was a way of life. I was taught everything about a cigar and how it's so connected to us, as well as rum. We did rum tasting. It was about $100 per person. So worth it. And the guy was French. Everything was perfect. I taught, if you check this out right now in the video, I'm about to blow into and do a Cuban shot. This was the highlight probably of my year. And this was, it's simply breathtaking. I'm lost for words as I try to speak about it. It was in a private bar that was located, but transport was provided. Oh, here I go. Let me cook. But you just have to do it. Even I was with a Brazilian, it's not private, and it's so good that it wasn't private. We had so many deep conversations. We smoked cigars. We had cigars to go, all of it. Whoo-wee. What a shot. Good morning, they're from Havana. It's such a wonderful day yesterday, probably one of the best days of my life. It was special. We had so many laughs, intrinsic conversations over a cigar. Just discussing the world. And I learned so much from this French man who did the cigar workshop. But I just got my photos back. And I'm a little bit, but really I should be dead hungover. Like I probably had 20 or 25 rums, which is a lot. But I'm not that hungover, just like a little bit. I headed to some lunch at this local place which I found decent food, very cheap as well. There was a live band playing, all very cute. But then I decided to head into Old Town because I had to buy a couple of different gifts for my professors and stuff, and to see what Havana was truly, truly like. It was nice, the people were friendly, I felt very safe, beautiful. Gorgeous. Taking a stroll before the airport. Cup market. I'd like to find the coffee. Planes like Wingo and plus old George. I don't even know it's an A340 300. So I got on the earlier flight to the 10:30. I actually made the 9:30. Soon enough, we were taking off out of Havana, and Havana is a beautiful airport. If you're an av geek like myself, there's a lot of Ilyushin, I want to say, aircraft, because of the Cubana fleet, right? So, but for this flight, I was booked in first class, C3F, and I paid $484 for this flight, and then the long layover in Miami at the flagship lounge, Miami to New York on the 777-200, which you'll see in a minute. And then the A321T in J over to LAX, all for $484, I believe. It might be like $482 exactly. I'm not entirely sure. But I do want to reflect how incredible this trip was and how beautiful Cuba is. It doesn't get enough love considering the Caribbean destinations. I think there's more culture in Cuba than any other Caribbean country. I know I haven't been to them all. I've been to just under half. And I'm going to this summer, hopefully go to the rest of them. But we'll take a look. We'll figure it out. But for now, it definitely ranks up there. And I highly recommend anybody going. Super easy, not a problem at all. They're not going to come and raid your house or nothing like that. Also, American Airlines, big ups today. Big. So if I can recommend one thing in Cuba, is stay at a casa particular. You can stay at hotels. You can do any of that. I'm sure you can even stay at the government non-sanctioned hotels. But staying with the guests, I'm like the people of the house. I stayed with Mirna through Airbnb, and she was absolutely lovely. It's like she was my mother. Keep in mind, I am 22 years old, and I don't have the best family history. But she still felt like a mother, if you know what I mean. And that's why I love Cuba. The people are genuinely friendly. And I did a salsa class, which I didn't really talk about, nor did I take videos, because nobody is seeing that video of me trying to salsa. Let me just put that out there. And you feel like a guest, not a customer in the country. And there's very few countries in the world where you feel like that. Anyways, they didn't grill me on the way back in. It was super simple. It took me 1 minute and 13 seconds to get through.
Made it back to the US. Oh. Let's go. Time for passport control. Some cool planes at Miami. Then I had to transit through to the lounge. I had to get by these people.
Look at the shower. We're in an airport. It's quite a nice shower for an airport, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of pretty. Look at that. Ooh, let's go. I need to freshen up though, because I don't have time in New York. And I had to make it to LA, and I smell like absolute shit. So people are probably asking me, how did I manage to get flagship lounge access in Miami? So I was flying on the A321T from New York to LA, and any same day eligible reservation allows you access in any of the airports. I love the AA flagship lounge in Miami. It is the best flagship lounge out of all of them, apart from the Chelsea lounge in New York. The Chelsea lounge, but that is the first class lounge, so it doesn't really count. I highly recommend. I got this fare, like I said, for $482, and if you can find the same, such a great way to get back to LA. Thankfully, I was in the Zodiac, no, not the Zodiac, the B Aerospace Colin Diamond seat, which I'll show you in a minute. But I had a very pleasant flight. Everything was early. The food was absolutely incredible in this flight. I had a mac and cheese and a short rib, as well as an ice cream sundae. Can't recommend American enough on this day. They even put in an upgrade request on my half, which allowed me to get into the Chelsea lounge in New York, which I shouldn't be telling anybody this, but I got in on a business class ticket with no status. And if you request at your originating airport to have an upgrade to first or put in an interest, then it shows up in the system as a glitch where you can get access. Yeah, so you're welcome. But anyways, here's the takeoff video from Miami. I hope you guys enjoy. to a horrible day in New York. It was raining so badly, but the good thing is that we were early into New York. I headed over to the Chelsea Lounge because I had access, and originally I went to the Greenwich Lounge and they said you have Chelsea Lounge access. I was really confused, but we went back and forth and it was beautiful. I mean, just take a look, it's about to show up. And I had a glass of Krug, and then I was back on my way over to New York, and I paid, like I said, $480 something for this flight, and it was all in lie flat. But if I had done a one-stop economy, it would have been around the same cost for my dates in Miami. And I just feel that's not me. Like, I like to fly nice, even if that requires going out of the way. So, in California, doing my walk to the grocery store. I'm in a really good mood. Usually I get embarrassed. Just got done. It's 8 a.m, not even. And I've got my passport. Well, kind of. I have to come back to pick it up on Thursday, which is really nice. But yeah, everything was great. I met a fellow world traveler, and he invited me to his club and told me to come give a presentation. Been good fun, but I got it. That's all that matters. Ooh, ooh, ooh.